was, especially the children, you have to enter into the same simplicity of the children that we read and described today in the Gospel today. That is the real spirit, the interpretation of becoming like children, becoming simple. And that is a challenge. Someone wrote, it is simple to be a saint. What is complicated is to be simple. And that is the real challenge. The third is spirit of a family spirit. And that, I think, again, Marcellin de Champagnat told that it is for the community of the rest of us, for the community of the married brothers, of course, for the church as a family, which is familiar for us here in Africa since the first African Synod, the church as family, but also for society. Create communion, create unity, create fraternity. And that especially is a great prophetic message for our times now, that because one of the changes that we are living in this moment in the church is precisely the calling of synodality. And synodality is spirit of a family. Is to go together as a family. Not as individuals isolated, not as fantastic pioneers with whom nobody can live with, can work with, great people, but without team, without family. No. The first reading today was very well chosen in this spirit. It described the first community after the ascension, how the disciples were together, how they were eating together, and even they had to celebrate the Eucharist in their houses because they did not have churches, chapels, or places only for worship. So this family spirit must be the permanent characteristic of our pastoral approach today and of our spiritual life in common. Then the fourth is love your word. Love your word and work out of love. Love the word does not mean you do what you like, but you know what you do. You know your mission. You know your assignment. Even if it is challenging, difficult, even if you are not welcome sometimes and contradicted, it's true, humanly speaking, I don't like that. I don't like this job, I don't like that position. I would have preferred to be in that mission rather than in the other one, with my friend in the community rather than with this one. All this is mission, is work. All that can be overcome if there is love. If the motivation for our mission is love, our consecration is apostolic. Our religious life is apostolic. Poverty, chastity, obedience are for mission. They are investments for mission, for our work. That is where we take the grace, the strength of the Holy Spirit. This is the fourth pillar of the spirituality of Marcellin de Champagnat. And the final one is like the conclusion of the other four. A conclusion that makes of him characteristic in the life of the church is Marian devotion. The devotion to Mary. To take Mary as a source of inspiration. Why? Because if we analyze, Mary realizes all the pillars that we have analyzed before. Mary was, first of all, this present. He was the one who said to the Spirit, to the angel Gabriel, here I am, the servant of the Lord. This is the presence of Mary in the history of salvation. the presence of Mary in the life of Jesus, the presence of Mary in the ministry of Jesus, and the presence of Mary as mother of the church, a feast that, by the way, we are celebrating today with the Universal Church. Mary, mother of the church. It's a new day that is not yet very well known. Mary was present at the foot of the cross, present at the crucial moment of the sacrifice of Jesus. A difficult presence, a courageous presence, a pastoral and maternal presence. Mary was simple, the simplicity. The Lord has seen the simplicity of his servant. We have that in the Magnificat. I am the servant of the Lord. And instead of remaining at home, waiting to be congratulated by all because she was going to become the mother of God, more glory and more honor than that, there no exist on earth. No. She went to visit and to help a servant, Elizabeth, and to do that work on foot, crossing the whole country. At that moment was not easy. That is really simplicity and humility for service. For service. She is the servant and the image of the servant church. Mary loved his mission, loved his work. Even if the old Simeon told her, a sword will pierce your heart. This child of yours, you rejoice. We rejoice at the baby always. But it will be a sign of contradiction. And to you, a sword will pierce your heart. But Mary was in love. And the love of Mary was the secret, guarding everything in her heart, to conserve everything without understanding the mystery. She was part of the mystery that was for her so difficult to understand, too close to the mystery to understand it. And that is the love of his word, of her word. Therefore, we join with Mary the full integration of all the elements of the spirituality of this family that is celebrating the charism of the founder today. Let us rejoice with them, and let us dare to take from the example, the life and the teaching of Marcellin de Champagnat these elements that are valid for all the church, because his spirituality is not an exclusive spirituality, it's an ecclesial spirituality in which we are all invited. Especially we religious, we are blessed of an apostolic life, an apostolic orientation. We are living gracious moments of the church today. There are challenges, there are crises, there are even scandals in the church today. It's true. But let us look at the Spirit guiding us, proposing to our eyes figures of this one, like the Marcellin of Champagnat, giving us light, inspiration, and examining our own attitude, so that in the memory of Jesus, through the example of Saint Marcellin de Champagnat, we may also face the pastoral times of our times, especially accompanying all the Universal Church in this pilgrimage for the Africa, for the synodality next year, that will be an event of the whole church. And let us recommend to this saint today that he may guide us in this walking together, which is the meaning of synod, to walk together, so as a family in this simplicity presence, humility, loving our word, and fraternal family. Amen. May Almighty God bless you, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Let us go in the peace and the joy of Christ. Thanks be to God.